So thank you very much for inviting me. I'm very happy to have these interesting talks before because they will help me to introduce the topic and to give a background on the topic I'm going to tackle. So biodiversity in urban environments, in anthropogenic environments, it's very, very important. But the thing is that not all things are good. And some species and some actions we take can just generate more problems. So I'm going to talk about the problem of invasive species and some challenges associated to these invasive species. Okay, because we are involved in the GreenGap project, I just wanted to show you some photos of Coruña. So Coruña is in northwest Spain. It's a town, it's a city. As I was saying, Coruña is a city in northwest Spain. And the city is concentrated in a peninsula. And at the tip of the peninsula, we have this green area, which is very valued. It's of high value for locals because a lot of people use this green area. But the thing is that this green area is dominated by a lot of invasive species. So many of the species we see during spring that give a lot of color to this place are really species. Most of them come from South Africa. And obviously, many people are not aware of the problems that cause these species. Indeed, many invasive species are very valuable because they have this ornamental value. They are nice looking, and citizens value very much these species. And so we can find, these are just photos I took these days, these are very recent photos, in different gardens, urban gardens in the area, where you can see that selected species for these areas are really very dangerous invasive species. And some of them, enter through gardening, but some others use it because, there's a tradition of using these species for establishing banks or for, in certain infrastructures. And so there are different reasons for having these species in the area. The thing is that invasive species have caused many troubles. For example, many of them just change the habitat. For example, they can change, sometimes dramatically, the chemical and physical characteristics of the soil. They can compete with native species. They can change the composition of the species. They change even the trophic connections between species. And so they really cause many problems concerning biodiversity. But from the human point of view, the thing is that many of these species also cause troubles. They can damage infrastructures. For example, we have in this area certain species that can grow on walls, like stone walls, and so they can they can just open big holes in these infrastructures. Also, from the human point of view, we have species. Many of these species can cause allergies. For example, pampas grass. This Cortaderia celovana is one of the species well known for causing troubles for allergic persons. Or this invasive species, the Asian hornet, Vespa velutina, is also known for attacking people. If you're very close to the nest, they can attack you. And there are already people that have died because of their attacks, because they are allergic to the stings. So invasive species cause troubles, and because of many people at administrations, many researchers, most of us are already familiar with the problem of invasive species. The thing is that when we have to take decisions on management, there are some controversies concerning management of these species. For example, there are many actions that are being taken that very frequently have a very low efficiency. So we are investing a lot of money, we're investing a lot of effort in actions that sometimes have very few, if any, deep impact. For example, controlling pampas grass, Cortaderia celoana, is extremely difficult. It's extremely costly. It's, that's why they are invasive species also. So it's not a surprise. But the thing is that when the administrations have to take decisions, they have to take into account, this cost benefit ratio, and sometimes it's difficult to control this aspect. Also, management control actions, for example, can have important side effects. For example, when removing plants, invasive plants, you can have this impact on the soil. For example, if removal is very aggressive, sometimes you just get rid of a lot of soil, lot of local seeds from local species, and so this can sometimes help new invasive species because you are really having an impact on the soil. For example, for Vespa velutina, for example, I think in Portugal, they use the same systems. They control the same control systems as we have here in our region. And one of these systems is the use of traps, bottle traps, armadillas, that really have a lot of side effects because they capture a lot of other insects. So all these problems can really generate controversies and deep debates on this. And then there's another problem. There is, I didn't want to bring a complete list of invasive species. We are working in a project on green infrastructure, and we are aware that if we want to promote green infrastructure, we have to take care, we have to be careful with the selection of the species. But the thing is that we already have invasive species in our area. Which species do we control? Which species do we try to manage? All of them? Few of them? And then which strategy? For example, should we try to eradicate? Should we try just to contain the expansion of the species? Should we just admit that, this species is here to stay and just try to protect goods from the impact of this species? So these questions are very important, and very frequently these debates are difficult because there are many social aspects involved here. For example, for this squirrel is a exotic species here in Europe. It's a gray squirrel native from North America. And many people are against of control plans for these, I would say, nice species, beautiful species. It's the same for example, big trees that are of, they are invasive, but people value these individuals. And so sometimes eliminating them, trying to remove them, it's very controversial. And this is coupled also with problems with ethics in the control of invasive species. Because removing plants or even trees, even if they can have, some social rejection, is not that normally that dramatic as when you try to control mammals or birds. When you try to control vertebrates, then this is difficult because then we are talking about animal welfare. We are talking about having good skills for these management plans. And so this can be very controversial also. So we are aware that in both Galicia, north of Portugal, we have several species, invasive species, that are causing many troubles in our areas. So in the next slides, I'm just going to briefly explain some of the projects, some of the case studies we are dealing with in Galicia, and that obviously some of them are in coordination with Portuguese researchers also. So case study number 1 is on the control of pampas grass of Cortaderia celoana. So during the last years, we have been trying to improve mechanical control. So one of the methods for controlling pampas grass is just to use heavy tractors, heavy machinery for removing them or cutting the plants. The thing is that together with my colleague Jaime Fagundes at the University of Da Coruña, we have been trying to investigate whether, cutting plants in certain moments of the year can just help reducing the growth of the plant, the number of flowers it produces. So we are trying to control, or we're trying to establish the best moment for cutting this species. So we've been working on that. And then another aspect we are working with in this species is a potential biological control. So we have a species, a small fly, a small mosquito, that it's a gold midge, a dipterum, that eats the seeds, or at least if this species does not completely eat the seeds, then it's at least able to degrade, to cause damage on the seeds. And so we have observed that this midge species is able to reduce the ability of growth from seeds. And so we are working on this biological control. The problem with biological control is that it can help control the species, but it's not a methodology that by itself can really produce big improvements in areas. So it's kind of complementary to other strategies. So that's why we are still working also on mechanical control. Second case study, it's with a species that in Coruña we are really having trouble with it. It's this licorice plant, Licorice petiolare. It's a plant, it comes from South Africa, native area is South Africa. And in the last years, we have observed, in the last 10, 15 years, we have observed that many areas in the coast are being dominated by this plant. So we are losing many areas of high value because those are habitats of special interest. And these habitats of special interest, coastal habitats, are being dominated and are almost covered by these species. So last year we started a project. This is really a contract with with a big company that wants to work on this. So they are helping us to do this control, and also a municipality close by Coruña. And in this area, we are trying to check different options for mechanical control and the results of this mechanical control. That's why we have in this photo these yellow flags, because we are controlling plants and we are controlling their growth and so it's the same. We're trying to see if mechanical control can be improved and if mechanical control has really an impact on this plant. Because the thing is that we have observed that this plant has a lot of roots, dense roots, that can really produce new plants. So even if you are very careful when removing these plants, there is a very high risk of these plants growing again. And another aspect is that, for example, we have, it's very typical in control of invasive species. When invasive species are not dangerous, for example, with some plants, it's very common to do these citizen actions, this with volunteers that help remove a species or get involved in these removal programs. And with this plant, we did an experience with volunteers, and it was very interesting because we wanted to control time, amount of plants removed, and also the costs of this. If administrations want to invest on manual removal with, people doing this, you cannot use volunteers for everything. So administrations have to know if they want to use this hand removal, they have to invest. And so we've been controlling time and also the amount of plants removed just to estimate costs of this strategy. And then this is the last species I'm going to mention. It's not a plant, it's the insect, the well-known insect, the Asian hornet, Vespa velutina. This is a species that has invaded all Western Europe. It's very frequent both in rural and natural areas, but also they are present in urban areas. And the problem with this species is that it can be dangerous because it can sting you, and they can attack you. And there are some people that are deeply allergic, really allergic to this species. And so in urban areas, many municipalities have been trying different mechanisms for controlling these species. So it's not straightforward to tell if all the mechanisms they are using are of any use or not. Indeed, I'm very I am being careful when saying this because I don't want to hurt people from municipalities. But the thing is that we have no positive results of any municipality investing in these control methods that have good results. We have, no evidences for the moment. So what we decided to do was to just try to know how hornets use the urban space. And this is very interesting because these hornets, you can, just try to locate their nests. And so you can just try to tell which are their preferred areas for constructing the nests. But also, with these control methods they are using in towns, in municipalities, we can also try to understand how these hornets use the urban space. And so we have, at this moment, we are just working on this. These are preliminary results we have recently presented in a congress, but we don't have the final results. But we are trying to correlate the presence of hornets with factors such as pollutants, green areas, amount of green areas, noise, for example. And it's very interesting to see that many of these species, like most invasive species, they can cope with many, many problems. So the thing is that we are trying to promote green infrastructure and diversity in urban areas, but we should be very careful with the decisions we take on how to improve green infrastructure, on how to improve biodiversity. And if we tackle the problem of invasive species, we should really be careful because there are many factors, there are many controversies associated to these species. So thank you very much for your attention. As you can see, this was just a background of the topic and wanted to present some of the experiments we are doing at this moment. But the thing is that I would be very happy if this can generate some debate. I don't know if now, but at least I hope the public can just get some ideas to generate debate on these problems. So thank you very much.